Hello everyone, this is Hemalata, Assistant Professor, Department of Agriculture Engineering, SNS College of Technology. Today we are going to say about modified plate collector under the solar and wind energy conversion course. Actually, flat plate collectors are one of the solar energy technology that will convert the solar radiation into the heat that can be used for the domestic purposes like space heating and water heating, etc. It consisting of the metal plate that will absorb the solar radiation and transfer it to the fluid, and it can be used for various purposes like as I said, earlier, it can be used for the water heating purposes and the space heating purposes majorly. And it is a heat exchanger that uses solar radiation to your working fluid. The working fluid is maybe a liquid or air, and the collector is a black surface because black color is a good absorbent of the radiation and can be placed under the glass. And flat plate collector, there is no optical concentration of the sunlight and they are generally stationary. The outlet temperature capability of this flat plate collector is 100 degrees Celsius. The main components of a flat plate collector is black surface, which is absorbent of the solar incident solar energy, and the glazing cover. It is a transparent layer that will transfer the radiation to the observer that prevents the radiative and convective heat loss from the surface, and tubes containing the heating fluid to transfer the heat from the collector. And the support structure can be used for protect the components and hold them stationary. Insulation covering sides and bottom of the collector to reduce the heat loss. It is one of the typical flat plate collector which consisting of metal blocks covered with a glass or plastic cover. It is called glazing on top of the flat plate collector, and a dark colored absorber plate on the bottom. The sides and the bottom of the collector are usually insulated to minimize the heat loss, and the insulation may be the glass wool and wool, etc. Like that, insulation materials are used in this flat plate collector to avoid the radiation loss from the plate. And observer plate can be made up of copper, steel or plastic, and the surface is covered with the black material of higher absorbance. And the selective coating can be used to maximize the absorbance of solar energy and minimize the radiation emitted by the plate. And flow passages carry the working fluid through the collector, and the working fluid is a liquid. The flow passages is usually a tube that is attached to or it is a part of the observer plate. If the working fluid is air, the flow passages can have different configuration. Cover plate, that is glazing, which is used on the top of the flat plate collector to reduce the convective and the radiative heat loss from the observer. One or two transparent covers are generally placed above the observer plate. They can be a glass or plastic, and enclosure, a box that encloses the collector to hold all the components and protect them from the weather and facilitate installation of on a roof or a appropriate frame. It is the diagram which illustrate the flat plate collector. It consisting of the fluid tubes. The fluid tubes can be attached to the absorber plate. It can be above the plate or below the plate. And transparent screens, it can, there may be a two or one transparent screens can be used, which will allow the solar radiation to enter into the flat plate collector and also avoid the radiation loss or reflective sun rays uh, from the absorber plate. And thermal insulation, as I said earlier, it is can be a glass wool or any other insulation material can be used to avoid the heat losses. Thermal insulation is used at the bottom and also at the size of the plate, and it is one of the application of the flat plate collector. It consisting of the solar heat exchanger at the top, and the water will enter into at the bottom of the flat plate collector, and hot water or air will leave the flat plate collector at the top. It can be used for the heating purposes, and also for the water can be used for the domestic purposes. For the space heating, the air coming out of the flat plate collector by using the blower that can be used for the um, heating purposes. Mostly it will used in the cold countries. Advantages: it is easy to manufacture and it is low cost, and it will collect both beam and diffuse radiation and permanently fixed. No sophisticated positioning tracking system is required, and it requires little maintenance. Thank you.